So Donald and I were recently cleaning out our fridge and we found an unknown number of unmentionables that had been forgotten about. Seriously, some of the stuff was gross. That said, I've made it a point in 2022 to be less wasteful, especially as we continue to grow our own food on our small acres. The bonus of being a farmer is really nothing goes to waste. So despite my best effort, if I fail at using a vegetable, I always have my chickens as a backup. That said, I'm gonna highlight 5 different ways to utilize leftover scraps in your meal and still not only provide delicious food, but also unutilized nutrition. So let's get started. My absolute favorite way to use leftover vegetables or meals is a simple stew. All manner of meats and veggies go well together, and a stew creates kind of like that perfect marinade that marries the flavors together easily and will feed you for multiple meals. I've used leftover beans, greens, such as chard and collards, any manner of root vegetable, corn, or potato can complement a basic stew. What's better is once I've made the stew, any vegetable skins from the onions or celery or something like that can just be used to make stock. And then I use that vegetable a third time to feed the chickens because I use the scraps from the stock to give to the chickens for extra protein in the winter, so it's a win-win. My second favorite way is through a fajita. Now, I don't know much about the history behind fajitas, or even if what I make is really considered a fajita or a burrito or something else entirely, but mixing meats and vegetables and spices into a wrap is a simple and easy way to create another delicious meal. Sometimes I'll put like leftover salad fixings into the wrap along with the leftover beans or rice, and it all still tastes amazing. Speaking of salads, this is another great way to utilize leftover vegetables or meats as well. I mean, all salads are a big mix of ingredients anyway. You may as well make it interesting. Beans, meats, leftover peppers or cabbage, all can be put together and flavored with a homemade dressing, and you pretty much have unlimited variety of salad choices. Now, if we were looking into more a breakfast style meal, I would look at either an omelet or some sort of breakfast hash. Eggs go well with every vegetable and meat imaginable, so fold them in to an omelet, add a few seasonings, and it's probably the quickest breakfast to utilize some leftover goodies. Hashes are somewhat the same, but more like omelet fixings without the omelet. My favorite breakfast hash is a mix of sausage and sweet potatoes. And then I'll add like some eggs and cheese and then wrap it up in a breakfast burrito, and it's by far my most favorite breakfast. And lastly, casseroles are another really clever way to hide things in a more large-scaled recipe. I mean, all casseroles are, like salads, are just a mix of ingredients that are put together and then bound with something. So it's really kind of like the omelet. It doesn't really matter what you put into it as long as the overall flavor is good. I'm sure you can think of other ways to get creative with your food and avoiding the dreaded forgotten pepper in the fridge. But this is a pretty good list to start with. Who knows, maybe you'll come up with a new favorite. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. We're always coming up with new ways to utilize not only small acreage farming, but also soil building, learning how to understand how soil works, herbal recipes, and of course, small scale farming. Thanks again.